Welcome everyone to Utah News. This is the top story of the week. Not one, not two, but three Lymans are now in the race. It is quite a surprise to many, including some of Phil Lyman's team. See, two new Lymans show up as candidates in the governor and lieutenant governor races. The release of those names was done after the filing deadline of 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Richard Lyman appears to refer to himself as a libertarian according to the KUTVX post. However, both Carol and Richard Lyman are running unaffiliated. The governor's race this year has been quite a roller coaster. In the caucus and convention system for the GOP, Phil Lyman won over 60% of the votes. But due to a bill that is SB 54 that's on the books that allows candidates to purchase the signature gathering, Lyman ended up in a primary with the current governor Spencer Cox. Now, it is important to note that Cox did win the primary. Since then, Phil Lyman's camp has requested to see the unredacted signatures to verify the validity of there even being a primary. To this date, the Lyman camp has been unable to verify the validity of these signatures. There is a bit more to this, of course, but for the sake of time, we will link to more information down below. Phil Lyman and his lieutenant governor pick, Natalie Clausen, announced they are running as write-in campaign. They state this is to offer the state a real conservative choice. As many may recall, Phil Lyman and Brian King did an announcement together that appears to mock Cox and his Disagree Better campaign. Now, we are aware people have reached out to the new Lymans for comment, but as of last time we checked, no one has heard back from them. As you can imagine, there have been outcries from grassroots conservatives about being dirty politics, while others have remained quite silent. However, no matter if you think it's dirty or just a coincidence, one thing is absolutely for sure. Utah's political landscape is increasingly becoming tense. There's a growing rift between the usual party, or establishment as they're often called, and the grassroots conservatives. Okay, on to some other stories of note that you may not know about. Some people in Utah think that providing personalized artificial intelligence tutoring is the new wave of education. To quote, Utah experts in artificial intelligence said one of the benefits of this new technology that they find as most exciting is for how it can provide personal tutorship to every single child, and that it could revolutionize the education system. It is amazing the difference it can make for them and their opportunity to learn, said Paige Drum, the co-founder of education AI company Fetchy, and about what AI can mean for a student. Of course, there are others that have several concerns outside of the cheating often mentioned about technology and education. Some are truly worried about the growing young population who are already disconnected from their fellow humans and from the world around them being further separated from that much needed interaction. They also bring up concerns about data tracking, something which Utah has been promoting heavily. This brings up concerns about privacy and if we are raising a youth who will never know the value of freedom and autonomy. Now on to some other interesting news. Utah builds more new homes than any other state in the nation. But before we delve into this too much, we want to first remind our audience that the Utah legislature currently is heavily involved in development. Many are developers or work for developers. This is a massive conflict of interest. With that said, let's get back into the story. With Utah's fertility declining for several years and dipping below replacement level for natural increased Utah-born citizens, and the United States as a whole in a very steep decline, one has to ask, where is all this population growth coming from? Who are these new homes for? Furthermore, are these smart homes? Are these homes even affordable? Utah, since around 1993, with the exception of Obama's housing crisis and the dip in 2021, has had steadily increasing home prices. As you can note from the chart, Utah's housing cost went into hyperdrive right after 2020 and has not come down to any remotely reasonable level. While we can blame inflation and the federal government to a degree, the state is also heavily responsible. While Governor Cox touts a large income tax cut, the state, cities, and counties have increased property taxes substantially and have created a hybrid government systems called districts or authorities. According to the article, for every 1,000 existing homes in Utah, construction coverage says there are 5.7 new ones that have been authorized to be built. That ratio is higher than any other state in the country and about twice the national average, which again brings up the question for who? 63% of Utahns, according to this article, want single family homes, but that's not necessarily what's being built. Granted, the state has made strides in now promoting single family homes, but on smaller lots. Prior to this turn, the state was pushing high density housing through like crazy. And to be fair, they haven't really stopped. So, what do you think, Utah? Who are these homes for? Do you think you'll be able to afford these houses that range from mid 400K on up? Let us know down below.